Got King Alfred playing, of course, and Constitution, of course. So, been meaning to do a video like this for a while because it's so much. It's crazy because it's a lot of confusion right now because it's just too much knowledge right now, and people not studying. I mean, if you get the knowledge to gain it, you gotta study and study, so you could take the knowledge and make it wisdom. Then you can impart it back on the people and manifest it. But if you don't really get the whole keys of what you're even looking at, like the principles and maxims to an actual teaching, you have to know all of that and outside of that, so you could even deviate our current position. Because right now we're not where we were supposed to be. You know, stuff went down, so we're kind of behind time on different timelines that were never supposed to be created. So how do we get back online? How do we get how do we line ourselves back up with the frequencies and the energies? Like, how do we get back online? Better, yo, it's funny. It's right behind me. Okay. Now, already off the bat, I'm not about to do what most of people as myself do. I'm not going to tell black people that they're not black, because obviously, if you're calling yourself something, then you are that. I'm not going to say that, I'm going to just start with the basics. The basics. And the basics is we are not together at all. Like, nobody's together except for the groups themselves. And that's an after effect of what y'all would call white supremacy or um, mental slavery. You hear these codifications of what we're in, but I don't see it as this supremacy thing where it's just white people against black people. I mean, if you look at it like that, I understand where you're coming from, but it's not really white against black. It's like it's deeper than that. It's white against black, but then that plays off into classisms, like how rich are you as a black and how rich are you as a white. See, so really it's just dividing people. It's just dividing people from what they consider to be together as. So it's just dividing you from what we created for you. So how to make an example of this? Um, if you are on a basketball team, like that you created around your neighborhood, you have 5 friends that you grew up with, and y'all created a basketball team. This is like if I come create a summer league and I put the jerseys that I got are actually real jerseys. I got to connect on jerseys. So because I got real jerseys, people want to join my team, even though I created a team outside of the people that were from the neighborhood, like the kids. I'm this guy coming in with good jerseys, so people want to get on my team. But what we're not seeing is that it's the after effect of being on a team of somebody who's not for your own good. Common unity, um, I'm not common to you, so I'm not going to show you unity. Um, so we can't cooperate. Now these words like unity, common, union, and cooperate, they actually have points to them. This is like cooperation is when somebody or a certain group of people that have the same mind state form together to get to the same end goal. So therefore, we're not unified as a people because not everybody's mind is on the same state, and not everybody's trying to get to the same endpoint. You got some people who want to leave out of what we call America. They don't want to be in America with these other people. They feel like that their inception was outside of America. Now you got other people who saying, well, no, well, my inception was always in America. Then you got the people in the middle who don't really, they don't really have any, they don't pick a dog in the fight. So that just causes confusion. So how do we do this? How do we look at this? we could go into like how people got over here originally. Um, all right, all right, let's do it like this. So they say that everybody comes from Africa. Cool. Like the whole world, everybody's original people started in Africa and then migrated out. Cool. Then how come when stuff comes up as far as black and white people, the common consensus is always that black people got to go back to Africa, or black people come from Africa, or black people connect back to Africa. But we don't never show, we don't call white people African Americans, but they come from Africa. Why don't we call white people European American? Why don't we call them Europeans? It's like this thing where we don't classify people how they classify us outside of our names. Like, so I mean, to bring it into context, like white people as I know it is not really a thing. It's like you're European. That's where your bloodline go back to. So everybody who's pale in America should be called European Americans. That'll be one classification that was never really given out down here. Call them European Americans and Europeans and see how that works. As far as like us codifying each other by the language we put on each other. So they should be European Americans then, right? Um, we know from their stories that when they came here, when they first came here, 1492, we'll throw that date out. When Europeans first came to this land, there were already people here. They actually, as a matter of fact, the original meaning of American from the 1828 Webster's Dictionary definition is pertaining to America, an aborigine of America, any of the copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of the Europeans. See, so before you even get into anything, copper-colored races. So we should play the paper bag test that they played back in the day for you to get in the roles in the movie, the roles in the movies. The penny test should be the copper test to see who was the races that was here originally. So if you look at who they call so-called Mexicans, so-called Puerto Ricans, so-called Dominicans, so-called Caribbeans, all the Jamaicans, South Americans, North America, people they call black, Negro, colored slaves, people they call Ethiopian, African Americans, Africans, those people, the people who, when you call us that, but then when we look over to the other land and say, brother, they don't see brother because that tribe doesn't come back to my family. If you're African, you would know you can look at your great grandmother. If she doesn't has an African accent or speak an African dialect, if she's speaking straight English, you're not African because your bloodline starts here. And most of the people I know that's African, you can find African dialect in their language, and you don't even have to look that far. It's all the cousins, uncles, father, great grandmas, grandmas. Us, we just looking for Africa. Well, where they at? Like we don't even know what the tribal names are. Like if I ask you, and this is for those who think that they're from Africa, but not. I'm not talking about people who are African. If you're Somalian, if you're Ghanese, if you're Nigerian, Sierra Leonean, Liberian, well, we'll talk about Liberia. We'll get with Liberia. We'll get with that. But if you're these Tanzanian, Egyptian, if you're these Moroccan, we'll get with it. If you're calling yourself these things, those are African tribes or African nations. So that's what makes you African. If you're over here in Pennsylvania, which is a country, because states are districts, which are countries, if you're here, because there are actually plots of lands known as parcels from Europe. So, all right, how do I prove this to you? So something like Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, when you break that word down, it means Penn's Woods, High German, Old High German. So Pennsylvania means old, it means Penn's Woods. So who's Penn? I'm talking about William Penn Jr., the second. His father was an admiral that sailed in the seas for the European Union. When he was put on, he was given permission by King Charles the Second, I believe. If it's not the second, it's like the fourth. whatever. One of the king, look it up. Probably the second. I'm most likely the second. But he gave permission for William Penn to come over to this land and take over the land. The problem with that is that um, Charles got the land from the Inca Empire because he was bloodline to the Inca kings. If you look at, we're going to look all this up right now. So when you look up the Inca kings list, you'll see how the Spanish bloodline goes into the Incas, or the Spanish bloodline comes from the Incas. That's the dark skin. They get the pale side Spanish from Arabs who used to be Persians. So original, my fault. That's a little cord. So original Arabs, the people in Arabia right now, Saudi Arabia, that are calling themselves Muslims and all that, ISIS and all that. Those people are originally Persians. So they don't come from the Maghreb or that land that would include Northwest Africa. They don't come from there originally. The original people of that land is Berbers. But we're going to deal with that because there's a lot of racism that these people are learning from this side of the globe. And what racism does, long story short, it makes all the dark-skinned people, it puts them outside of context when they talk about any type of history, any type of people or anything. It puts the dark-skinned people outside of it. And it's up to the dark-skinned people to put themselves back on. But they keep you ignorant of who you are, put different people in your uniforms. So when you see yourself, you think it's white, or you call it this label. You give it you give yourself a label outside of what you were originally called. And that's why we're kind of in this position. So let's go to the Inca Kings list. Because man knows not by being taught. So y'all, sometimes when you see a picture, it does the best for you. You know, a picture speaks 1,000 words, but when you see this for yourself, it's better. It's like, oh, I never seen this before. You know, you blow your own mind. But the aha moments are those that wake us up. So let me get this King's list together, by the way. Oh, and by the way, the Incas are the same family line that Tupac Amaru come from. And he was one of the brothers. No, he was a son of two brothers that killed each other, and he was the last standing ruler of the Incas before they fell to the Spanish. So I'm just going to this real quick. All right. So let me turn this John around. I don't know if y'all can see that, but okay. So if you see up here, this guy in the middle is what Jesus used to look like. If you can see his complexion compared to, hold up, that gentleman, that and that is darker. He's different. So he actually was dark skinned. This is a female. I don't know if you can see her. That's a female, and that's the male of the kings of the king and queen of North. I don't want to say king, the emperor and empress of South America. So you look at this is their whole bloodline. All the kings list, all the kings from the Inca Empire. This is after the Mayan Aztec. So this is who we are. And look at what happens here. This guy, hold up, my man right here. His name is Carlos Quintos. Quint. He's Charles V. Carlos V. But if you look closely, I don't know if you can see it. He got a little cross right there. That's a Morisco. He got his crown on and a cross right here. That's a Morisco. So you see how Moors is wearing their fezzes. They got their fezzes on, right? But then when he get to this brother, because he's our brother, he's throwing up the hand sign of the Jesuits. He has a cross of the sword of Constantine, or the sword of colonizing, or the Inquisition sword, because that's a war sword. It's not a cross. When they stick it in the ground, it means you conquered your land. When they pull it out, it becomes a sword. Never mind. That's later. So Carlos Quintos, Carlos V, I think. Do you get Felipe saying, I can't say Seguin, I think the seventh, but this is Philip. So King Philip. So you're hearing these people that are Spanish rulers, right? But when you see here, they actually were born out of the Inca kings. So these are the brothers of these people. As you see, they have their books, right? Then when it gets into their hands, the scrolls and the chain that chain around their neck had the symbols on it representing what became the Catholic Church. So if you see here, Carlos Quarto, or that's the fourth, and Carlos Tresere, the third. Okay, third or fourth, and then the fifth up here. So basically, the bloodline of, let me get it right, the bloodline of the Spanish, these kings, these rulers, came from these emperors. Okay. So this is how you, okay, so let's read a little bit. Let's read this down here and put it back on me because I know it's probably blurry. But let's read. Gotta read. And that's another thing, yo. Reading is fundamental. It's good to read because when you read it for yourself, it's like you imprint it. You make the story yours because you read it and you put it in your words. You put your frequency on it. You put your energy on it. Okay. So this is a painting in the Larco Museum in Lima, Peru. This painting depicts the Inca emperors and the subsequent European emperors of the Inca. It begins with Manco Capac. So Manco Capac, the legendary first Sapa Inca. Top to the left. So he was the one next to Yanga. The first one name is Yanga. That's the actual first. Wait. Let me get it right. Oh, no. I was, so Manco Capac, the first Sapa, he's the one on the left side that we looked at the male. And then the mother is Mama Huaco. Yeah, on the right side. So this also depicts the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, Charles Quintos the fifth. That's the one who we seen with the cross as the first European emperor of the Inca. The rest were Spanish kings. Okay, so let's get that back into context. The one we seen with the crown, he was actually emperor, and all the rest of him, the bloodline after him, were kings. So, yeah, that's crazy. So the first, and the rest were Spanish kings. The painting can be dated circa 1800 because of the last two entries are Carlos Tresero, Charles III, as the 24th Inca emperor. Oh, they was both. And his son Carlos Quarto the fourth, House of Bourbon, as the 25th emperor. Charles IV reigned as king of Spain from December 14th, 1788 to March 19th, 1808. Abdicated in favor of his son Ferdinand VII. See, so you got it right there. It's like after they had to sack the Incas before they can get full access into America. So people want to play the game about the Moors led the Europeans here and all that, and then they say that it was us who started. Well, this is what they don't understand. They don't understand how vast our rule was, like when we were in power. It wasn't just in America. It wasn't just in what they call Africa. It wasn't just in Asia. It wasn't just in Australia. It wasn't just in Europe. It wasn't just in Antarctica. That's a lot. They don't talk about that one. But it wasn't just in these places. We were all over, even off of this planet. But that's deeper. See, if you don't know that you're not black, why are we going to talk about outside in the space? You're not that. So why are we going to talk about that if you don't understand the functions? Yeah, you are that, but not like the way you're looking at it. What color is that? What color? All right. What color is this? See? See how it's different? See? So you can't say that you're this if this happens when you put something black next to you. This is black. This. See how it doesn't blend in? This is black. See? How come you can still see this it gets stupid. It gets stupid. And if you only knew what was happening to you for calling yourself black. So The executive order was authorized October 1969 to counteract the minority, Black, Indian, Latinos, Puerto Ricans, and poor whites. Poor whites are a minority too. In their rise up from the depression and powers that be. So we have a common unity with something. If you're poor and you call yourself white, or if you poor and they call you white, or both, then you with us. Don't all that fronting. All y'all people up there with the they call them rednecks, because that would mean you would be out there on the field with a field worker, and your neck would get red because you didn't have anything to block your neck from the sun. Redneck. So what I'm saying is you are in the same boat as us. They call you colors. They call us colors. Redneck, all that stuff. White is the color. That's also a color too. But see that's a different thing. That's something else. White represents purity. White represents the color of light. So when they take white as the title for their people, what they're doing is taking a spin off of what we know God really is. When I say that, don't jump out of your skin. I'm not saying God is a pale man, because God is not a man. God is only all the source, all the energy combined as one. So how could that be white people if they're not all combined as one? The energy of what white is. See, it even gets crazier. How does this color sound? That color has a vibrational sound to it, a frequency. How does it sound? Is it a, or is it like a is it a like, how does this color sound? It ain't black. That's not how this color sounds. How does this color sound? What? Blue? Blue? No. Sky blue? No. Before there was any sky or blue, this color had a vibration to it. And a vibration is also not azul. These are words. I'm talking about how does the color sound. See, that's too deep. See how everything's getting a little red? We turning up. All right, let's run through this real quick. King Alfred. Who is he? King. Now, see, oh yeah. Shout out to Taj Tariq Bey. When we read definitions, you're supposed to start, see this little letter? N? You don't skip that, because you got to put the word in its proper context, or as Taj would say, its proper matrix. So matrix means mother, the mother's womb. When you put the word back into the seed or the egg that it come from, or the womb, you get the mother of the word. So what we take is the word king, like, well, this is etymology, but we do what I'm saying. It goes back to what king actually meant. So what if king meant an asshole, right? What, would you want to be a king? No. So you wouldn't say, hey, I'm a king, I'm a black king, because if you knew what that means, you're just saying, yeah, I'm a black asshole. If that's what king meant, deal with the etymology so you can know what the word actually meant, so you can know what you're actually saying, so you can know how to read. You don't even know how you read it because you don't know what the words mean, but that's another thing. King, noun, eight parts of speech, it's a noun. Noun means person, place, thing, so proper, so they make the first letter capital. A king, a male sovereign. Stop. Why would he be named King Alfred, a male sovereign or monarch? So the monarch part, there we go. A man who holds a life tenure, and usually by hereditary right, the chief authority over a country and people. Okay, so with these guys, they are the children of the Britannian Moors. So the Britannic Moors, they birthed them, called their land Brittany, and then moved them from Brittany to Albion. Britney Spears, Jessica Alba, all that shit. It's cold. But they moved their children that had the gene deficiency, or the mutation of the genes, which is vitiligo or leprosy, whatever. They were, some of the kids can be born pale, some of the kids can be born with lighter eyes. You see in the Dravidian bloodline, the Indian bloodline a lot, and the Australian bloodline, they're born with blonde hair naturally. So in the deficiencies that we come with, our people come with, you'll see different versions of it, of us, when we as we birth in different places. So you get light pale versions of darks. Let me say it right. You get pale versions of humans, dark versions of humans, middle versions of humans, but everybody is all original human descendants, right? So, Alfred, Old English Alfred, Al. That's funny as shit. So the Alfred, Old English was Fred. So it's showing you how the Al and the El is interchangeable even to the Europeans. So it's funny. From 1849 to 849 to 899, he was a king of Wessex, 871 to 899. Sometimes called Alfred the Great, Wankage, Berkshire, youngest of four sons, King Ethelwulf. He was sent in 853 and again in 855 to Rome, where the Pope invested him with the honorary dignity of a Roman council. So, all right, we can stop there. This dude, the Pope and all that, like the Pope and the time they're talking about, they was on like come up with the plan to take over the world, Pinky and the Brain type stuff, because they had just came into the empires of us. On the Britain side. So it was a lot of, work to be done. There was a lot of overtaking they was trying to do, but it took a while because we still had control of Spain and these type of places. Like we still had the major empires underway. They were just kind of waiting. So after they overthrew Spain, really, after we went through that war in Spain, it was like a world war against everybody that was from there to come to everybody was from England to attack Spain at the same time. They made like they waged a world war on us, and that was the most expensive war in history that ever went down between the Moors, King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. You can look that up. This is a little exotic map of the states. See, I mean, so I deal with this a lot because, if we're not this, most of Europe, when you hear these words, was over here. So that's what this map is for. So when you're hearing these wars go down, where Europe was fighting, England was fighting against this person, all the places were over here. So let's look at this. England. Where is that? England right here. See it? All right. So England was going to war with Morocco, which is where Illinois is. England. Oh wait. England going to war with Morocco, but it all happened here. So what they did in history is write the stories that it happened in other places, when really what was going on over there was like how they formed this government the way you see it now, though, like just paperwork and a bunch of acting. People ain't had no money. Like I said, they wiped Europe clean when they went to war with the Moors. They had no money to fight no more. That's why slavery had to come out. They had to take all the poor people from every group and wage war. So let's start here. I like this. Let's start here. Combined memo from the Secretary, Department of Interior. Combined memo from the Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency. Okay. All right. There are 12 major minority organizations, and all are familiar to the 22 million. Dossiers have been compiled on the leaders of the organizations and can be studied in Washington. Dossiers. Sorry. The material contained in many of the dossiers and our threat to reveal that material has considerably held in check the activities of some of the leaders who do not have such usable material in their dossiers have been approached to take government posts, mostly as ambassadors, the primary in African countries. The promise of these positions also has materially contributed to a temporary slowdown of minority activities. However, we do not accept these slowdowns to be a long duration, because there are always new and dissident elements joining these organizations. So it's always stuff that we doing on the ground level, putting it into watch the COINTELPRO work though. However, we do not expect these slowdowns to be of long duration because there are always new dissident elements joining these organizations with the potential power to replace the old leaders. See, damn, y'all, this shit is crazy because we would never guess or get it that this is not just because we're waking up. No, they have a plan already in place for the wake up and how to suppress the younger ones or the new ones from pushing the old ones back. Somebody told us about that was supposedly was going to happen. The future is going to be the old leaders that messed up get pushed to the back by the new ones, not by force, just because we come in the temple and change stuff. All organizations and their leaders are under constant 24-hour surveillance. The organizations are. See, come on, bro. Like, how y'all doing videos all the time? Talking secret stuff, supposed to be secret, when it's 24-hour surveillance since. When did they start? This joint, even before 1594, the Supreme Court of the United States of America declared unconstitutional separate educational and recreational facilities. You know, you already know. This stuff is already in play for years. Like, so watch this. This is the infiltrated organizations under surveillance. So this is how you know who got infiltrated. The Black Muslims. So if you call yourself a Muslim and Black, bro, why you, bro? It's right in here. This is not my writings. This is coming from Executive Order 11490. Silent weapons, man. Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Congress of Racial Equality. Why can't we be all alone? We all together. We all the same, equal, right? That's a farce. The Uhuru movement, the group of advanced leadership, group on advanced leadership. That's gold. Freedom Now Party, the United Black Nationalists of America, the New Pan African movement. So see, bro, this is all the people. This supposedly popping and they bang on something. They banging on people. Hold up. There's one group that get banged on, bro. We gonna deal with this. Because y'all ain't representing it right. Y'all not representing it right. I know because I did my studies. Y'all don't represent it right. Y'all be lying. Lying. And y'all in Fezes, bro, y'all liars. You lie, bro. We gonna deal with some lies. It's funny. Cause bro, this joint is so you think we're not gonna win? You think the universe is not tuned for this? We already won, bro. They're just walking us through this slight pace because so many people want to experience losing, failure. He gonna let y'all feel that. It's gonna let y'all feel that. And then she's gonna also save you too. She's gonna carry you through to the next joint, to the next awakening. And if you not right for all y'all female you beat your wife, bro, you don't take care of your kids, y'all gonna get taken out of here. You're going to get cleaned up by the universe. The energies is going to clean you right up. That's called the purge, bro. It has to be a purge. Shout out to Red and Blue Pill. It has to be a purge. Because what I mean, I'm not talking about bloody. But I'm saying is, it's been so long us not being like, in the sense that we had to look a certain way because a leader. Like we haven't been Malcolm X in a minute. It's been a minute since we had a Malcolm X that everybody look. That's the brother that we don't care. We behind him. It's been a minute since that. So we got real like we got off course when it comes to codes of conduct. Malcolm said stop clapping. That was years ago. Matter of fact, that's Al Hajj. I'm a leak, bro. he was not Malcolm X. They still throwing like funerals, and I mean, they still having a yearly party for Malcolm X Day. He ain't, that wasn't his name. Back to the John. NAACP, of course, the National Urban League, the Committee of Racial and Religious Progress. So when you hear these people that come with this talk about, oh, we black, and oh, it's Jesus first, and a Muhammad or Allah, some religion that's saving you, or some way that you're going to get in the government, and some wing or some people you're going to stand behind, or some party, all of that is BS, because it's not coming from us with a goal. It's coming from our oppressor with a goal, and then we go into the oppressor's goal and think that that's going to save us. It's never going to work that way. So I'm gonna get out of this because we can stay on that forever. I just wanted to get to this point when we talk about the lies, like the frauds, the fraudery. So for my people, this kind of confused about stuff going on, you have, and it's been like this in history for a long time. You have the one us, right? Us as a people. It started out as the feminine, the females. In their falling, they produce males. In the males falling, they produce a whole nother being that don't look like how we look. They are us, but they don't look right. They don't look the way we look. Then as they happen, we try to, make up a system to bring them back into humanity. But that backfired, because you can't just create another being like you're the creator. It's always going to be problems. Look at us. Look at how we are. The female created us, and we cannot, it's like we just got to make all this beef with other ones that look like us. Somebody else here is like that. Our child, he don't like his father, just the way we don't like a mother. See? That's what we got to get back to change and return back to the minds of your forefathers and foremothers. Means come together. Y'all got to love each other again. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So with this is, I think, okay, there's 7 acts to the divine constitution of the Moorish America. So the first one I wanted to get this right off the back, is, okay, Act 4. Act 4. I'm going to read it for you. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government, because being a Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live life accordingly. So, sorry, but this Noble Drew Ali, first prophet of Islam in America, meaning that's the first person who brought peace to our people, peace of mind. It's the first person. He came to our people and said, listen, you're not what they call you. You're something else. Who else told you were not black? One other person. Who else told you weren't black? Now all these people is just starting to realize, oh, we not black. But who was the first person that said that 1913 before people even knew what that could even mean? That's old hat. That's old headdress. That's old fez. That shit y'all talking about. He been bought that. Islam is old. Nation, he bought the nationhood and he bought Islam. So anything with those things in it comes from my man. Farrakhan told you that this year. Took a long enough, but love Farrakhan. But I'm just saying, it's like when is enough enough? When is enough enough? I mean, it's like they must like seeing us in some type of turmoil while they get paid. We gotta keep it real, bro. I don't got no fucking picks. This shit crazy at this point. Act 6. All us citizens, with all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed. And they must know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and nations of the earth. That's what you gotta do. That's what everybody else did. You think Chinese people is Chinese? They not. You think Japanese people is, that's what they call themselves, Japanese? They don't. Because they national. They have national understanding. They let you call them that stuff because they know you're not from there, Gaijin. This is the reason why Allah and Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people and from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. All right, okay, so that also is part and parcel. This one, number 7, this is different. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. See how it's different. They're trying to say certain people that claim to be Moors are saying that, yeah, we part and partial of this government, meaning United States government. Partial means not a whole, means you're a degree, you're a fraction of a government that's not even sovereign here, a government that got permission from your empire and the sultan of which you came. There would be no sovereignty for Americans or so-called Europeans claiming United States. There would be no land claim for them unless we did that and wrote them into our land. So a tract of land, a portion of land is parcel. So if we say that we're part and parcel of this government, that's saying that when we are in United States, so-called United States, and we say, I'm not a United States citizen, I'm a member of the Moroccan Empire. What you just did was turn wherever you are at that moment in time, that's Morocco. It's not United States anymore. It takes the indigenous name of what America is. And since you are the only one representing that with sovereignty, then you invoke the presence of that state there. The state of mind now is under affairs. You took it outside of the European's mind. European just means found a slave, like Euro. Ah, man, never mind. Peons is, small man, small-minded. But small man to a giant is, peasant-like. But then that, king, slave, master, all that type of stuff. So, all right. Part and partial, we got that. Part and partial and part and parcel. So part and partial, you're part and partial for my Moorish Americans out there. You're part and partial of your the lifting acts of humanity with the Moorish Americans, or the Moorish American Moorish America, the uplifting acts. You're part and partial of that. You're part and parcel of this said government because you represent lands outside of the United States, which is a corporation. Meaning, if this whole land is America, right? United States would be like a building. And then they're saying that this is the whole land. But just really everybody that formed this building, came up with all this build, the rules of this building, how this building is going to act. That's what's really United States. And it's just that they have a lot of people sleep going through that way of represent yourself. Like, come here and get come to the United States Corporation and get a state ID because you can't do this and that. Come to this, that, and other thing and get a birth certificate because you can't have your kid unless. Come here and sign this. Like, they put you into their corporation by signing you up. You get your Social Security. That's welfare for the people. So that's your body. You get your birth certificate, which is converting your body into an estate. So what you give them is your body and the land through the Social Security and the birth certificate. That's just how they did it. I mean, gotta put you on paper twice. You're a king. Kings don't be on papers. Hold up. 103 amazing facts about the Black Indian of the Western Hemisphere. My fault. So what I see a lot of people reading this. Shout out to Wants to China P Kanyan. Wants to China P Kanyan is who wrote this. If you look on Google, this joint is 125,000. But if you call him, I'm gonna give you his number at the end. Call him. Just ask him for the book. See how much he'll charge you for it. I'm not gonna tell you what he'll charge you, but it ain't gonna be no 225,000. He look out. So I was reading through this book, dedicated to my great grandmother, Lily West Williams Montgomery. This is grandma. So, I'm pretty sure people already know about this book, but I wanted to go through it on like and show y'all something, because these people are not being like they're not being like genuine. They because they believe in whatever they believe, or they have beliefs. They're not giving the full breakdown of certain readings. And then when I read it, I'm like, what? That's in there? Like, how could you not? Okay, like this. Let's deal with this. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read from fact. Let me see. From fact 30 to fact 37. Fact 30 to 37. Okay, yeah. Fact 30 to 37. So 30. Native or indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere, aka Indians, built pyramids and pyramid mounds just like the ancient Egyptians. These synonymous comparison of both cultures from opposite sides of the world is because they both were genetically linked. They both are the same people. So, wait. So the guy who's saying he's Indian and West Hemisphere, he's saying that the people who built the pyramids over there and the people that built the pyramids over here is both genetically linked. So they're the same. You built I mean, yo, this shit is stupid. Why would you see a pyramid and then see another pyramid and then see another pyramid and think that that's all different people? What? Nobody else builds like that. What y'all trying to do is give them pyramids to Europeans and like stop. Don't do that. Why? That's yours, bro. Stop trying to give it away to some people. You so like into trying to be lower than what you are. You're trying to give it away. Why? It's not nobody else's but yours. Stop giving it away. If you give it away, it will be there. Stop doing that. During the time of Pangea, this 31. During the time of Pangea, a Greek word that means all one. Pangea, Greek, all one. It's European. That ain't where you came from. That's just a word that represents when the world was together. You didn't come from there though, because it's called. Never mind. Must be Greek or something. That damn university. That black university should have got to y'all heads. Y'all joining these fraternities and sororities. Y'all think y'all really Greek. Stop that. Like, you were Greek when they was the Cretes and all back before, but not Greeks the way you're trying to do it. You're trying to be after the Egypt was built. That's what you want to be. You want to be a Macedonian. Y'all want to be Greek. You want to be an African. That's a Greek word, bro. Stop that. That Kepler ain't. All the continents on the planet Earth were one mass of land. People lived and thrived during the time of Pangea. This is a large explanation to why pyramid builders of the Eastern Hemisphere. Why pyramid builders in the Eastern Hemisphere? Oh, I think I read that wrong. This is a large explanation to why pyramid builders in the Eastern Hemisphere. We have pyramid builders in the Eastern Hemisphere, and pyramid builders in the Western Hemisphere. We had builders in the Western Hemisphere and pyramid builders in the Western. So we had pyramids on both sides. Ha, that's funny. Have cultures that are incredibly synonymous. Probably the same, just like he said in the first time. The continents continue to move. Some move 4 inches a year. The continents will one day become one landmass again. The continents are currently separated at this time. However, the genetic link of beings from Pangea never parted. So we still linked, y'all. Now watch this. This Indian here. Oh man, bro. Bull calling himself an Indian, which I was like, all right, I'm gonna let that slide because he trying to wake up our people. And this fact right here And y'all don't, and look, the ones who want to be Indian, they don't read this one. Fact 32. 32 and 33 degrees. He probably put them here on purpose. So, fact 32. The term Moor was applied to dark skin, brown skin, and reddish brown skin people who were not only indigenous to Europe, but to the West and North Africans. Even black Indians of the Western Hemisphere were also dubbed with this title. Okay, so the term Moor was applied to dark people, brown, reddish brown, all of that. They were indigenous. Not only were they indigenous to Europe and Africa, even black Indians of the Western Hemisphere were also dubbed with this title. So you're Moors, whether you like it or not. Punk, you can't be anything else. Sorry. This is what is written in. He's getting his knowledge from encyclopedias. I'm getting my knowledge from encyclopedias and dictionaries and any other thing I can get my hands on of ancient times. And they calling you Moors. Why are you so in a tizzy with that word? You want to be black though. Black means negro in Spanish, which means nigger. So you want to be a nigger in Spanish. You are pimped by your European master, boy. You boy, Europeans ain't Moors. They can't be. So why wouldn't you, if you want to separate from something, why don't you call yourself something that they can't even be? He's a punk, man. Suckers. And all right, 33. Indigenous black Celtics, indigenous black Britons, indigenous black Portuguese, and indigenous black Spaniards, all also known as Moors, had a long time of knowledge of indigenous people in the Western Hemisphere. These Moors were well informed of the different customs, traditions, and languages of the natives of the Western Hemisphere. These dark-skinned Europeans, Moors, were used as buffers by pale-skinned Europeans to help colonize the New World. These indigenous black Europeans, aka Moors, not only solicited the New World to pale-skinned Europeans, but also waged war on indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere, aka Indians. So, because I know y'all gonna go crazy, I'm gonna put that in context right after we read this next joint. 34. Certain black indigenous Europeans, aka Moors, that went under such titles as clergymen and European nobility, shared a common consciousness with pale-skinned Europeans. That common consciousness being that the indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere, aka Indians, were untamed heathen savages. So the black Moors of Europe and their children, the white Europeans, he taught him that his cousin over there, don't fuck with him. He a savage, because that was the only way that you can get them to go over there. Because even the white people didn't want to go in on Moors at that time. You had to get renegade Moors, or should I say Catholic Christians, the Moriscos. Remember that bloodline of the Spanish kings and the Incas? Just think about it. They still bloodline to the Incas, the Inca emperors, but Spanish kings, remember? So you still got that bloodline of Inca in you. So if you get with a black or dark-skinned woman, guess what your baby gonna look like? Dark skin, because you still got that bloodline in you. The more they got removed from that, they started to produce the dark side less. But that also shortens their lifespan. It's crazy, bro. So where was that? 34. So what we got with this European? So you all right to get it right. I started going in on it before, but I didn't get to the point. So you got one side of us, the spiritual, and that's what we stuck to, the spirituality, the high priest of Anu. We was all about the spirituality and the systems and the sciences as a spiritual, like an unseen thing for the inside. Then there was another side of us that were the physical ones. We wanted to rule. We liked the gold more. We liked to set up the schools. We liked to set up the teachings of the seven livable art. It was more of a physical thing than spiritual. As time went on, these dudes, they broke away from each other, and you can see examples of that. And when you read Kemet stories or ancient Egypt stories about the Amun Ra to the Aten Ra movement, like when Akhenaten came out and returned everybody to the Aten, which means the wiser, it was away from Amun, which is the hidden. So you go from when it was Amun Ra, that's the hidden science, is more of a spiritual awakening. Aten Ra is the wiser rising, but that represents, it's before the hidden. Aten is before Amen, so that's before you're hidden. So that's looked at as like the last stage on your physical journey, like when you're the most wide, when your knowledge is crazy, right? So that's where Akhenaten wanted to go, back to the sun. He took the sun from being an invisible inner body thing that you experience, and then that is a reflection of it, the sun that we see. He took the actual disc and said, this disc that you see is actually a life giver. So he was saying the life is coming from that actual thing, but it's more etheric than that. If you think you come from the sun like that, you believe in Jesus. Like that. That's not, no, you don't come from the sun. Everything you see outside of you is in. So what's the hottest part of your body? It reverberates, your heartbeat, right? So what your heartbeat is doing is beating in between the Earth's heartbeat biorhythm. So the heart of the Earth is boom, and then when the Earth, so say the Earth is beating like a boom, boom, boom. Your heart is in between the boom, like a boom, 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 boom. But they're all going synonymous. So it's like boom, 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 boom. Imagine all of the hearts power in this thing. People hearts be all like wicked, and it be all this stuff inside of people's hearts, like hatred and confusion. So as the world turns, right, with all this confusion and all these people's energies going haywire, you also got zodiacs going. So imagine another spin cycle happening while you're dealing with all your emotions, all your thoughts, and all your confusion. But right there where that light is, that's where Mars is, which deals with all the shits, fire, blood, bullets, and war. So when all this monotony is happening, right, and then I'm a fire sign, and I'm an Aquarius. I'm an Aries. I'm a fire sign, and my sun gets into that area, that Mars area. If I was, base my sun, meaning the blessings, stuff coming to me, manifestation. If that gets in Mars, I might want to chill. I might want to chill for that little star dance, or that star, the way they line up, that star alignment, because that's how people get bodied. That's how people get like caught up in messed up situations. Because these planets ain't just, it's not what we think. It's like levels of energies that exist over top of us. So like imagine this is, a lot of people say flat Earth, but imagine this is just one big vast plane. Like, don't even think flat, it's just a big plane, right? Then over that plane is another one. So it's like a level over this, but this level is a different energy. So human bodies can't go into that energy because only light and air and type of stuff can go into these levels. So as you have levels above us, we fall into the lowest, slowest density form of it, which makes the atoms bump into each other slow. So you think your body is, you can touch it, when really it's all an illusion. So yeah. That was all just to break down the physical versus the spiritual. And that's the war that we still have between us. Like, you could call it black and white or whatever, but the ones who are stuck on spiritual and the ones who stuck on physical, they go to war. They've been like that. So in my mind, that's how that's how I've assessed it. You got dark-skinned people in the world that's all about that spirituality, but you got the dark-skinned people in the world that's all about that material. And that's where the war is. And what we're trying to do is balance that, because it was balanced at a time to where the gold represents something spiritual, and we had it all in one. That was the alchemy days. But as you lose our science, or we give our science to new people, to new our children, the white men, we mess ourselves up by giving our own stuff away, even to our child. It's ours. You don't give your stuff to your child. You give him some blessings, or you give him some teachings and jewels, and then he becomes better than you. You don't give him your stuff, because what you do is trap him into your old will. We all gods. You don't want to do that. Everybody got free will. Okay. So let me wrap this up because we about to be in like an hour. So all right, 36. Certain Moors help to navigate Christopher Columbus's voyage to the New World. He wasn't lost. He knew exactly where he was going, simply because he knew who was on the boat with him. Ooh. So then you got the U.S. constitutional government is 37. The U.S. constitutional government is a plagiarized copy of Black Indian government system, the Iroquois nation, and that was the guy in Ashagwa, Great Peace, Law of Great Peace, Islam, Great Peace. It's all the same. So yeah, that was pretty much it. This ain't my last video. I'm coming back on here time and time again so we could break down and dispel some of these confusions. But I think I want to for the people who confused about like nationalizing. I mean, so how do you claim your nationality? I mean, bro, if I was you, I would just go online, go to the Constitution, just read through like the judicial powers, read through who has judicial powers, read through common law, read through the common law of the process of changing your name, right? So common law is what we are all under because you choose common law. Common law is like, all right, if I run over a nigga foot, if I run over a man's foot, sorry, I gotta watch my language, right? But when I run over a man's foot, right, and he wants to sue me or he wants to take me to court, that's what common court is for. Common law is for. It's just two regular people that need like a judge or somebody supervising their argument, and whoever has the facts better or whoever has the most viable facts, is the person who's going to win the case. That's how a law is supposed to be. Now we have that versus civil law. Civil law is Roman law. That's the law of like governments. So that law is it comes with a feudal undertone. Feudal law, which is civic law or Roman law, is the law of war, the war law, a private fight. So all right, so let me show you how that works. And then there's equity law. Equity law is like law of owning people. Just fuck it, owning people, and then owning properties as people, and then mixing that all up. So all right, equity, common law, civic law, equity law. So then in civic law, which is also feudal law, it's like government law, meaning, all right, the government has got in. You set these people up in these rulership positions in your land that you chose from your own people, but these people, while they were in there, they start getting fed money by outside individuals with a heinous plan to take over. But these are your people. They're changing because the money is making them change for the will of these outside elite, breaking them off of bread, making them do their thing. So the fight is that the people then make their own government to take that government out. That's called a democracy. But when that democracy is the government, the war is going to be on the people. That's called a mobocracy. If this nation was first a republic nation, our nation, I mean, you pledge allegiance to the flag, to the republic to which it stands, not the democracy to which it stands, the republic. So then, therefore, we have a Republicans and we have a democracy, Republicans and the Democrats going at each other. That's the feudal law. Y'all supposed to be fighting as one nation. We all equal, right? Oh, bro, nah. So you can't be on this land talking about some Democrats and Republicans. That's outside of the rightful government. Democracy, literally, the meaning for democracy is mobocracy. So the feudal law, that's that. Therefore, we don't need that. We don't need that for law. We don't need that. All we need is what Noble Drew Ali said. We need divine laws and principles. We need to be using our free national names and not to, we need to return to the minds of our ancestors, meaning we don't need to be thinking we European and calling ourselves these corporate names. We don't need to be in these corporate venues expecting anything. We could only get justice from our own, ourself, our own, our mom, our dad, your brother. Like council of court restoration, Islam to Shalimar Bay, Jeremy Bay. No, my fault, not Jeremy Bay. Shout out to Jeremy Bay though. But dang, I was just oh Jamal, bro, go hard more. Like Jamal Bay, he's going in. You got Taj, of course, and I know I'm forgetting a bunch of people, but Sam Ra from Philly, like it's a lot of people that's involved in this thing, and that's going to be the future. It's like we don't need to really worry about now. We just try to help the rest of our people. So when it gets to be time to actually move, it's not so much of a us, helping y'all. I mean, not helping y'all so much, but y'all can help us. Because I mean, shoot, it's already hard enough to try to talk to these people because they listening to their oppressor. So, all right, Article 6 of the Constitution: all debts and engagements, all debts contracted and engagements entered into before the adoption of this Constitution shall be valid as against the United States under this Constitution as under the Confederation. So, treaties, all debts contracted. If you were in debt at the inception of this, which the Europeans were, then you should be in debt now. All those debts is against you. We are not United States, so we don't have those debts. That's use what they say in their things and put it into writ and send that to them. See how they chew on that. You gotta like think when you're dealing with these people. So I mean, the last thing, sorry, name change to common law. Leave equity law alone. Leave civic law alone. Study common law name change. And really, all you have to do is just whatever name you choose, you just keep going under that name, and you gotta. It can't be under some fraud or you're running away from some old life or trying to do something ungenuine. It gotta be genuine. You gotta be unfraudulent. Truthful with it, and you have to remain under that name, and you have to be willing to be sued under that name, and you can do whatever. Walton calls itself Walmart. Nobody says anything, and people wonder like literally you have House Joint Resolution 75 for Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, by the House. The House put this out saying that they recognize the use of El Bay Day Ali like is Moorish titles. They recognize you. They recognize you as a Moorish American. They call you a Moorish American in that jump. I mean, what else? What else do you need? What else do you need? I'm gonna give you the 7 locations to so when you get your name correction form, you can get all that on rvbaypublications.com. Do not let these people hate and lie to you. A lot of these people are selling UCCs and they're not doing it right. If you want to know UCCs, it should only be UCCs for protecting your identity and reserving your rights. You in all like without prejudice, that type of thing. All that other stuff they trying to do for like federal gain and money. Literally, the Uniform Commercial Code is for the banksters to get out of what the hell? Not for the banksters, but it's for the officers to get out of their little thing. It's like a way out. It's an exit plan for them. Fake nationality for them. Why would you use that? Now I'm not gonna hate on all UCC uses. Like I said, the UCC ones that it's more to teach on that. And like Aleem and all them, and they deep. Aleem Bay, they deep. You go seek out them more because they competent in that field. So like, you would seek out like a Abdullah Masi Bay. You would seek him out for etymology because he like the master of etymology. I mean, Moors and Masonry. You need this book. You need this book, bro. Like what? So you can know. You got to see what happened, man. You got to see that these are Moorish buildings, bro. These are Moorish buildings. You got to see what happened. How are they wearing your headdress and got you scared to put it on? You think it's a white man's hat when you see this type of stuff, which is that's disrespect to the Olmec. The Olmecs have the joint and they fez like this just so you can see it. Like it's on the helmet like that just so you can see it. For y'all to say like it's white, only Sarasu and said he say stuff like that, and you know, bull not right, man. Like real right. Like you got your car fixed by uncle before. Yo, uncle fix my car, bro. And he be up there like, yeah, nephew, I got your nephew. Like you know what's up with bull. It shouldn't even. Why do y'all take him serious? Shout out to Sarasu and Seti. Why y'all take people like him serious? Or like real rap. Mm-hmm. So, what you got is them impostoring our old ways, which is dressing up in fezzes, putting the name of a temple over top right here, so it'd be like Islam or Mecca on it, but that'd be a temple that you got to go to when you're a Shriner to get your higher learnings of what the heck happened. So you got that. They got the scimitar over top of the crescent moon, symbolizing separating the head from the body, meaning separating the knowledge from the beast. Then they put you in it. They show you the Egyptian head or the Egyptian Sphinx head because like Egypt that we created, the people studied that want to be like and all that happened over here, and the people who were like not I don't want to say evil, but they did wrong deeds in that nation, like our own people. We kicked them out and sent them over to the other side, and they built them pyramids after that. And that place over in Egypt, Africa, Egypt, that has always been a tourist trap. It's never been like some land where they were ruling. That was over here. This is where we rule. But see, that it's so crazy that you can't see that. You have to go through many books and many masonry. They all teach this. They all know about where we at. Like right here. Not only did I teach national. Who's this? Somebody. Damn. Census Bureau, right? I don't know who this. Because I just jumped into this joint. I don't like reading stuff unless we know who we talking about. But oh, Your Majesty, Okay, Bill Clinton, when he was president of the United States, June 20th, 2000, addressing the King of Morocco. Your Majesty, America will never forget that in 1777, the first nation in the world to recognize the United States was the Kingdom of Morocco. Now, see, no, it wasn't, because the Kingdom of Morocco wasn't accepted until 1956. So how the Kingdom of Morocco recognized it wasn't even built yet. The empire was here though. They recognized y'all. Why? How could you? People are stupid. Like, all right, how are you gonna get permission from somebody over there for this big behind land? You really believe that? Yo, y'all crazy. Yo, y'all are crazy. You have Sultans over here already, or you call them Sagamores. That's what you call a sheik or the Shechem of an Indian tribe. The Sagamore. Why they call them a Moor? Why they call it Algonquins? 10 years later, our two countries approved a treaty of peace and friendship, which today remains the longest unbroken treaty of its kind in all history. That's for the Constitution about not breaking that was a debt jump, but they got another one in there. I think it's the 5th, where they have to uphold all contracts that they were into before they stand as law of the land. In the days since, we have stood together to live up to that treaty's ideals and to secure its blessings for others. The next is Obama. I won't even get into that because y'all don't even know. So what you got to do after you get your name change paper and your judiciary notice paper, fill that out to the best of your ability. Send it in first to see if it's corrected, because I'm pretty sure the mother is going to tear you a new one when you send your paperwork, because people change lines of the document for name change and judiciary note. You don't need to touch nothing. It's a frequency on that thing. It's like the way they prepared it, the words, the way they wrote it. There's an energy on those documents to where if you change it, you mess the energy all up. It won't work. So you gotta when you get these papers, fill it out and make sure you send it to them first so they could tear you a new one if you're not doing it right. You need that. It's gonna help you. They did it with me when I first sent my papers. I'll never forget this. Annie L. I sent her my papers, and then I what did I do? Something crazy. Oh, I pen wrote in the red ink my name, and the name where you fill your name in. I pen wrote my name in red. She tore me a new one. She said, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm like, oh shoot. I'm sorry, mother. I ain't no sorries. Get it right. Get it right. Because I'm not gonna be here for you when they come and get you. If they come and get you, it's gonna be you, and you're not. I said, yo, like, she really like tore me a new one. And after that, I wasn't sad or nothing. It made me feel like I gotta be on my game. You gotta get on your game, young man. You can't be out here just frauding. This is not no game. You might have thought you was from Kemet. Those are games. Sorry, yo, but those are all games. They don't lead to nothing, but you just feel good after, and you know how to talk matter natural. Save yourself out of the situation you in. You own your house, or you got a mortgage, or you trying to own your house, or you want a Lodio title. What you don't like? Yeah, we don't need to be from Sirius yet. It's good to know, but we can't use that for nothing. We cannot use that stuff for nothing, man. Like we can't use that for nothing. It's good the Anunnakis came here and whatever and whatever. You can't use that energy. How you gonna use that energy for something unless you're selling books, bro? How you gonna use it to help your people? You can't. You can't. You can't. You just might as well get yourself together. That's what you need to do. You save yourself. You can save all these people. Stop. Like, you can save yourself. You are me. You are her. You save yourself. That's what you just did. Made my job easy. So seven locations of certified mailings that you have to do after you get your paperwork finalized. You gotta send yourself to the United States District Court, which is the Supreme Court, Washington. You gotta send it to Department of Treasury in Washington, the United States Justice Department, Attorney General, Washington. You gotta send it to the Department of State, Secretary of State, which I think is still Hillary Clinton. Send that to Washington. Department of Interior. My fault. It should be Inferior, right? But Department of Interior, that's in Washington too. Send that. Homeland Security, Washington. Send that. United Nations, Geneva, Switzerland. Send that. And the Provost Marshal, also in Washington, which is he's the leader of all the military. Send that. So all these people have to be notified, and then any other thing you're doing, as far as, you know, if you have a business in your city or whatever, or in their city, in their state, and you want them to recognize that you have nationalized, you might want to let them know by putting them on notice and putting it on record in your county court, put it in the newspapers. So it's just, you know, making a record of that, you know, you are what you say you are. There's a lot of other stuff too, but just for the basics, 7 locations, name correction and judiciary notice, and put the people in your immediate location on notice. Like, you know, that's just it. That's the first part, you know. And then I would, you know, before you even get there though, and this is what we all do, all the active Moors will tell you the same thing. Like, don't do none of that before you had at least a year of studying, because if you get pulled over out here, bro, They not playing with you. They will take you to jail, take your car, take you all that. Luckily, I never had that happen to me since I've been in Moorish, since I've been in my Moorish regalia, in my Moorish mind. They never take me. I'm not going anywhere. I heard the stories, so I'm not going to say that it's not a truth that they don't take people. They take Moors every day. It's not no game. It's just because you're a Moor don't mean they ain't going to take you. But I'm saying what I have done in my travels, I don't get stopped, and then when I do get stopped, I don't get taken because, all right, what's one example? It's about a month ago. I was on 52nd Street down West Philly, and I was going past the Sunoco gas station. I went through the light, and as soon as I went through the light, the guy was on. He was on the one way coming up. He was at the light coming up. What's that? Walnut. So I go right by him. Zoom. I mean, he seemed speeding. He pulled me. So I pulled over, and it was two European American cops. Yeah, it was two European American cops, right? So I'm sitting in the jump. I'm like, here these dudes go. Let me put them on. So I just wasn't, took a deep breath. I wasn't panicking or nothing. I just knew, like, all right, well, if they take me, they take me. If they don't, they don't. So he, as soon as he came, I already had my ID out. I had my ID card because I went through the light. Usually, I don't show them anything because what are you pulling me for? But I went through the light. They like to make a little bit out of nothing, especially if you don't know the memory, if you don't know the protocol. But I went through the light, so just in case you want to have a talk about that, let's talk. So since I went through the light, I already had my ID ready, which is my Moorish nationality card, my national ID. So I gave him my national identification, and he said, "This isn't a driver's license." I said, "I'm sorry, officer, but I'm not driving. I'm actually traveling in a common law capacity. So could I be going? And could I be going on my way, or am I detained?" And he said, "Sir, are you from Morocco?" I was like, "Which Morocco?" He was like, "Well, you're not from Morocco." I was like, "Sir, you don't know where I'm from." "Well, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Sir, I want to stick to the matters at hand." Because, like, come on. It's like, what, like about 2 minutes went by this time because everything was like happening real fast. And he was going crazy. He's like looking at the back of the car. He's trying to figure out. And I say, "Sir, I said, sir, in 1774 in this state, in this city, our nationality was stripped away from us. Us Moorish Americans, you took that nation, our nationality, and I said you took our nationality away and you placed Negro, black, and colored on us, on our people. I have returned to tell my people they are not such things. They are only Moors." And I don't know what it was. He dropped my card. I looked, I heard, because I didn't see him drop it, but I heard, because I looked front after I said, "We are Moors," and I looked to the front, and I heard tick tick tick, like you hear the plastic, and I looked in my car. I said, "Sir, you dropped my card," and he's just looking like he wanted to pull me out of the car. I said, "Sir, can you pick my card up, please, and hand it to me?" He picked the card up. He said, "Go ahead, you can go ahead. That's whatever that is. I don't know what that is, but you go ahead." And he said, "Go ahead." Another time was it was an Asiatic brother, like dark skinned brother. So he pulled me over, and I smell it. It's in the air. Where it's at? I said, "Bro, that's how you conduct your interview. That's not how you do that properly." So since he jumped out of the thing like that, and where are you? I said, "Where's he at? Well, are you in proper uniform? Let me see 3 forms of ID, please." His heart out the chest. I didn't want to go there with him. I mean, but he jumped it. You my brother, but you want to play a Morisco, so let's play Morisco. So I'm mental scimitar ready for this dude. He like, "Come on, man. You don't gotta see. I know what you about to do. You about to make this some whole big thing. Listen, man, I want to tell you, listen, none of that stuff works." And I'm just listening. I ain't nothing to say. He's like, "None of that stuff works. I see y'all online, sovereign citizen." Sir, I'm not a sovereign citizen, which is that's completely asinine and it's an oxymoron. Sovereign is, sovereign is connected to the nation. A citizen is trying to get nationality, but he's not national. So you're not a sovereign citizen? That's all he was worried about. That must be the ROCIC stuff. You're not a sovereign citizen. I said, no, no, sir. I am sovereign, but not a citizen. I can't be a citizen. He said, listen, man, I'm gonna tell you like this. That stuff don't work, man. But get out of here. So that's my stories. It's always a that don't work. They sound just like these people up on this internet. This in the comment sections. That don't work. The Moorish stuff don't work. That's like cop sound. But they let you go. They let you go. So you know, Islam, shout out to everybody that's on their square, standing up and putting in work for the people out here that don't have any conception that we at war. Thank y'all. I mean, thank Islam. Islam to all the active Moors. Islam to everybody. Canaan land Moors, yo. We got to come up with a name for that chat room. Yo, shout out to you if you be in that Canaan land Moors chat room. Bro, listen. We be building on another level, bro. We be building on another level. And don't come in there with your stuff. The scimitars be swinging, bro. So Islam, bro. It was a good week, and everything was good. Independence Day, honoring the independence of the European from his oppressor and his independence here. But the funny part is they always forget who gave him his independence. You gotta wait for Obama to go to Cairo for all that. I always forget how they got the independence, but we remember. That's why we're here for. So Islam, all praise go out to Noble Drew Ali, bro. Because without him, we wouldn't even known. We wouldn't even have known. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Islam.